Hello, hello. Hello, hello. All right, we're on. Sorry we're late, everybody. Wouldn't be a normal day if we didn't have a technical difficulty. The software we used to stream was freaking out on us. Awesome. Well, yeah, if you're on and watching, let us know where you're from and what your name is. Thanks for coming in. I'm Chad with Turner's Warehouse. I'm going to be doing a little turn-in here today. Amy is on the chat, so she's the Turner's Warehouse or Turner's TV on the chat. If you have any questions, feel free to throw them in there, and she'll read them to me so I can answer questions while we work here. So should be some fun today. Worst part is we get to turn a little bit, so that's a good thing. Yeah. Couple of things of note. We are trying to do these regularly. I'm sure there'll be a Wednesday we miss here and there, but we are trying to do them regularly. Let us know if you have requests. We do have some stuff coming up to continue the kitless custom pen making series. We're going to be doing some mandrel making, as well as adding a clip to a cap. So those will be in the near future. But if you have other requests, let us know, and we'll see what we can do. All right, anything going? I got Colorado Springs, Maryland. That's cool. Prescott, Texas. Yep.
Illinois, California.
Very cool. We did have a live stream on Saturday last week, not Wednesday. Emily Ford demoed some captive ring making. If you haven't watched that, I think it might be, Amy's working on the repost of that, so that'll be out shortly. Yep, so that was pretty fun. We might even try some of that in the near future here, because I've not made anything with a captive ring, and we can try it out. So let's jump right in today, unless anybody has anything going. Anything on there? Cool. All right. Well, thanks for coming in. Today we're going to make a bottle opener handle, but it's a lot more than that because you can do a bunch of different stuff with this. So I'm going to show you real quick some options and what you can do. Whoops, wrong camera. And we'll get started. So let's start off with what you can make, and it's really anything handled. So you're going to see, like, inside this pizza cutter handle is a little brass insert that we're going to talk about here in a minute. Make sure I can get it in the right direction. And that brass insert will be in all of this stuff that we make with this system. And the reason that's good is it makes it very strong and safe on the lathe. But then also, if somebody is using these at home, they can take them apart to wash them, and they don't risk messing up their handle. I can tell you we have a pizza cutter and an ice cream scoop and something else, maybe a coffee scoop. And we take them off and just throw the stainless part in the dishwasher and then leave the handle on the counter, and it works really well. Now you can make, this is just a few of the things. There's your ice cream scoop, your coffee scoop. We have these in a couple colors. Pizza cutter. There's things like honey dippers and bottle stoppers. Here's a whole tray of bottle stoppers. And you can make cool bottle stoppers, like with fishing lures in it. That one stands up. Different teardrops. And even these, I use this knurled insert. And the reason is I never turned these because I didn't like the way they turned without, something substantial in there, and I always would tear out the threads. This is from the stainless bottle stopper, guys. This is a no dent bottle opener. That's pretty cool. So a lot of options here. And to do this, let's show you what it takes to do this. Is we have this little set that we use. And then you got these knurled inserts. And you can get this set if you want to just get the mandrel. You can do that. You can get it with or without the bushings or the stand like this. This kind of just holds everything. But the mandrel threads onto your headstock, and then the shaft here acts as your bushing. So this alone, the mandrel, fits several items, and then there's 3 bushings, and I think there's actually a 4th now maybe. And that slides on, and then that matches up to other stuff. So like the pizza handle uses this big bushing, whereas the coffee scoop uses just the standard shaft. So it's kind of cool that you can do all these different projects with the same mandrel. It's similar to the old Morse taper mandrels that used to be available and still are, but it's much nicer because it doesn't come out of the Morse taper since it's threaded onto your headstock. So you can get it 1 1/4 or 1 1/8, 1 inch 8 TPI, I guess. So that's kind of it. That's pretty simple. What's nice is, like I said, it's threaded on, and then you can still use your tailstock. So I'm still going to use the live center with this. I like to thread these in. I'm going to make this brass bottle opener. But I like to thread them in because these are really long, and you have to make sure you allowed yourself enough room behind your little threaded insert for all these threads to go in. Now you could cut these shorter, but I think it's good that they're long because it gives you a little more meat as far as leverage. Not that a bottle cap will be that difficult, but it gives you a little more rod, I guess, to the bottle opener. So I just thread them in before to make sure that they fit and that the threads are clear, which these appear to be. So there you go, bottle opener made. You don't even have to turn it. Nice. You won't lose it, that's for sure. But I always have some of these laying around ready. Like these were in my drawer, already ready for a project because sometimes you just want to turn something quick or make a quick gift. And these are great because these could be for any of this stuff here. So I could make a pizza cutter or an ice cream scoop or whatever out of this long one. I could make a bottle stopper, but it'd be awful big. But I always have a bunch of these glued up and ready. And that's what you can see here. So different sizes, different woods and things. And this is a 1/2 inch drill bit. So you want to drill a 1/2 inch hole. And then you want to drill the hole. If you have a readout on your drill, it's 0.66 deep. If you don't, just drill and test fit it. I like to thread it onto the mandrel for test fitting into the block because it's easier to push it in and out with the threads in. So that's what I do. But I use epoxy for this. You could use CA, but you definitely want a little more substance. So if you're going to use CA, use as thick as you can get. But I would recommend epoxy just for strength. That way it gets all around these knurls, and it really soaks into your wood and gives you good coverage. I think the epoxy is a little less brittle than the CA, and that's a better thing for this choice. So, all right, I'm going to take this over. Let's see here. I can kind of eyeball to see. So there's my bushing for my bottle opener. So I'm going to use that one on here. And they do have these little nylon washers, and that's just to keep your project from getting stuck. So let's see which blank we want to use. This one looks pretty nice. It's got a little bit of burl. This one's a lot more burly, but it's a little lighter, so I'm nervous that it might not be solid, but I guess we could try it and see. So let's go to the lathe and put this on. I already got dust in my eye and haven't started yet. Burl is always good. And I am sporting my new shirt. I've had this shirt like a year, but it was long sleeve. And I got my mom to shorten the sleeves so I can wear it because I can't do long sleeves. So I finally get to wear a turning smock. I always wear just a normal shirt. But we'll get it dirty today. So, yay, Anita. Shout out to Mom if she's watching. She might be watching. You never know. All right. Let's mark this. So I'm going to mark the back end of this. Well, nah, we don't even need to. Because we're kind of just going to go with whatever it does as far as lineup. Hopefully I drilled that whole square in center, but you never know. So really I'm just going to put the point up here and introduce it and we're going to call that the point. I like to use the tailstock for as long as I can with this stuff because it gives you support. You can imagine if you're trying to turn this out here and do a lot of pressurized stuff without any support, it's going to get a little moving on you. But the nice thing is this can be tightened up nicely onto the mandrel, and I don't have to worry about it wobbling or wiggling on me. Now, what do we want to do for shape? Everything always tends to look the same.
I feel like it should be shorter this time.
Shorter?
Than those other ones that were really long.
Well, then I should pick a different piece of wood because I don't want to cut all this burl away.
Then make it longer.
You want me to do a shorter handle? Let's
No, you should do that one.
Let's do a quick vote. Do we do a shorter handle like Amy wants or a longer burl handle? Everyone, burl, long or short, in the comments real quick. We'll take the first 6.
Quick question while people are.
Yes, quick question. Yes, go ahead.
Did you drill the hole on the lathe or off?
I believe I drilled the hole. The question was, did I drill these on the lathe or off? I think I used the drill press on these, but it's been a little while. I try to drill everything I can on the lathe. The lathe is the best way to drill. Even long stuff drills better on the lathe, in my opinion. And I have a nice drill press. I have like a really nice Nova, but I just think that the lathe is always better. I was drilling pen blanks earlier. I drilled them all on the lathe. It just is so much nicer. That being said, you might be limited on, if you're doing a really big block, on what your jaws will hold. Like, I think most of them will hold quarter inch and a half, but not all, so it just depends on that. But anything you can drill on the lathe is better. I'm pretty sure I didn't drill these on the lathe because you can see there's a cross mark and the hole is not centered. So that looks like drill press work to me, but who knows?
We have 3 votes for shorter and 2 votes for longer.
I do have this little flame piece that's got some red on half of it. We could do this one, that'd be cool. It's good and solid. Let's do this one. Okay, and will that look good with brass? We'll see. If we have time, we could always put on this other one as well. So just unthread it. And the cool thing is, even taking it on and off, you're not messing up the threads because they're brass. So you can rechuck this at any time and turn it. All right. This flame always looks cool, as long as it goes into the wood a little bit. This one's questionable. It's really cool on this one side. I don't know if you can see that in the camera. Is it too dark? Let's see here. Whoa, that's too bright. It's got some cool red, but I don't know how long it'll last. Okay, so, oh, I almost dropped the pencil. Amy, you said shorter handle. What kind of shape do we want?
I think you should let the wood.
We should turn a football for the Super Bowl.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I can't turn a football. I don't know. I mean,
How would you do that with the knurl?
well, I mean, you would just like taper it up and back. I mean, it wouldn't look like a football. It just would kind of resemble the shape a little bit. I don't know if it would work. Maybe. I mean, we could see if it works a little bit, but I kind of think maybe just more straighter with like a bulb at the end for like your hand to go against. Mm-hmm. What do you think?
Yeah.
Or maybe some finger grooves. We could get out the beading tool. That seems to be popular lately.
Let the wood tell you.
Let the wood talk. All right. Well, let's see what happens. Oh, I got to plug in the lathe. I unplugged it for the CNC earlier. There we go. Okay. How is, I hate to even ask, how's sound and video? Is it clean? Okay, good. Whew. You never know. Word to the wise, don't switch to Verizon Internet if you get the option. It's not been good. All right. Should I use the spindle roughing gouge in honor of Emily's visit last week? Okay, so we're just going to round this thing.
Mike says
Captive ring. I've never done one.
which is kind of legit, actually.
I mean, we could try it, but it would be, I'd be practicing live. Whatever they want.
I think you should do it. I won't.
Who said captive ring?
Mike,
Oh. Well, that'd be something, wouldn't it? Well, looks red and curly in there still.
now other people are voting for Captain Ring.
Oh, of course they are. I mean, I'm happy to try it. Okay. I think we're good there. So, if everybody wants captive ring, we can do it. Just be forewarned, I am not a captive ring maker because I've never made one single one, but I do have the tools, and I'm not typically a spindle turner, although pens are kind of spindle-ish, but we can play with it. Let's see what we got here. Probably the middle size, right? This is the 3/8 captive ring. I mean, all I know of the captive ring is what I saw on Saturday when I watched Emily do it. So, I mean, I'm kind of, everything I've learned was just from that few minutes. But why not? Okay. So let's do, let's turn this down. I think we should do the captive ring on the back end, right? The bottom of the handle. Let's bring this down a little bit. We can, trying to imagine the shape. Oh, I guess the captive ring will be more forward, right?
You have lots of support. Everyone's like, you can do it.
Yeah, of course.
And practicing live is very cool.
Practicing live, a lot of fun. All right. I'm just going to kind of get an eyeball here of where we want this stuff. So if the ring is here, and then the back will be back here, we can turn all this away once we get it. Okay. Whew. Excuse me. All right, so we're gonna do, I'm gonna do the ring like right here. We'll kind of just define it. Let's see, and then they'll have to judge maybe the size approximately. Let's see how this goes. See, I thought it would be easier to do the captive ring if you took the beading tool and like rounded the top first and then went around with the tool. But I don't know, because that's maybe that's the cheating way to do it. I don't know. And I'll be honest with you, I was gonna just make a new one of these because it looks like a skew that they cut the little round part in and then round it off the tip. Looks like you could just do that. Yeah, we got some new captive ring tools that we're going to get. We'll probably get these same ones as well. Okay. So, I mean, I'll let you guys see what I'm doing, but keep in mind, I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, when you go in? So, like, you got to come behind it, right? Up and down, up and down. But see, my my outer ring here doesn't look very good. So I should, like, clean that up a little. Right? I don't think so. Anyone make captive rings? Does the captive ring tool cut the outside too, or just the inside? It doesn't look like it cuts the outside. I'm gonna kind of. I'm just gonna round this off to where it looks like a ring. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? Is it breaks off? Okay. Hey, it still has some pink in there too. All right, let's do this. Okay. What do we have here? I'm just gonna hit this real quick because it's being connected. Obviously, it's easier to sand than when it's loose, right? Makes sense. Because we'll try to finish this one up real nice. I mean, it looks ringish.
Kim says she does think that it's just the inside.
Yeah, I think so. Seems like it.
Yeah, Paul and Megan just like round over and then sand the outer ring before the undercut.
Yep. Okay, that's cool.
Exactly what you're doing.
That's what I just did. Perfect. All right, we have a captive ring in the making. I mean, it looks like it cuts in there pretty nice. And these are two-sided, so you can go to both sides. I don't know how far to go. I feel like I got some material right in the way of it, right there, which is stopping my tool. Okay. I mean, it looks like a ring so far, but we'll see. Whoa. Oh, I'm hitting here. Take a little bit of that away. Okay. Give us some room. This side is definitely sharper than this other side. So I'm going to sharpen it real quick. I feel like this side just burns. The other side is sharp. Okay. I'm doing the bouncy thing, so I learned this. So watch the tool. Bouncy. Whoa. It's trying to grab in all kinds of places. what happens is it grabs here. Now I don't need that later. I'm going to take that off anyway. So I might as well get that out of my way. Okay. Now I got room. There we go. That's cutting now. Hey, it's a ring. Okay, so it's a ring. All right, live stream over. Later.
They gotta finish this one up really nice.
Okay, yeah, well, we'll hopefully still make it a bottle opener that can handle opening bottles. All right, so let's do this. Turn this up a little. Now wait a minute, we have a dilemma. I was gonna just turn this like straight for the bottle opener, but I can't do that because then this will just come right off.
No.
What do you mean?
The bottle because of that.
Oh, the bottle opener will, but then it's not really captive. I could have made the ring separate and stuck it on there. So I have to leave a little knob at the top to make it captive, right? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I don't know.
Because otherwise you could just like have a ring and slide it on a bottle opener. So I got to leave it a little bit bigger at the top, which we can do. Does that make sense, what we're talking about?
Yeah. Leonard said when the ring is formed, keep it out of the way. Some say it's cheating, but it works for me.
Yeah, seems like it would work. Let's see here. So I'm going to leave a little bit there. What?
If you like it, then you should put a ring on it.
Well, we made a ring on it. We didn't put a ring on it. I hope we don't turn away all the pink, because this did have some cool color in it. We still got some there.
That would be really cool.
Oh, there's a scratch right down the middle of my ring, probably from the tool. What would be cool?
Captive ring candlestick.
Captive ring candlestick.
That'd be
I don't know if this is going to be like beefy enough for a bottle opener. It just might be a really ugly captive ring thing. See, I still have to take a lot of material off. Let's see. Huh?
the way it looks.
I guess bottle openers don't have to be that thick and strong. Let's see. So I want to get under there. I'll stick it up there. I'm not a spindle turner. Oh, these spindle tools are very weird to me. But whatever, they're fine.
Because you're not used to them.
Yeah. There you go, captive ring.
That looks cool, Jeff.
Okay.
We're all very excited we got you to try something new.
Yeah, I'm sure. Let's see if this will kind of clean us up a little here. Could probably use a little round carbide.
Can you make it a different
Yeah, it could be a coffee scoop. It doesn't have to be a bottle opener.
That is actually a really nice thing about the
Yeah, it's pretty universal, so if you change your mind like we kind of did, I don't know why that needs to be round. I guess it doesn't. Well, there you go. That's my first captive ring, and it looks like a weird leg bone with a ring on it, but it is captive.
It looks cool.
All right. Turn a little more on this front. Down to the point. Okay. So there's the tool. I didn't really hold it up before, but this is the 3/8. That little set from that we normally have. They're out of stock right now, but we'll have them back soon. Has 3 sizes. This is the middle size, so I guess it doesn't really relate to the size of the ring. I thought it made the ring like that first, which maybe you could, and I just didn't do it right. And then you like roll it in, but I kind of used it just to like reach around and go on the inside. So the inside isn't super, like there's little bits of fine wood in there we can take out. Let's see here.
It really is unique. So whether it's a bottle opener or coffee scoop, it's very unique.
It is unique, 100%. Let's see if this will work. Well, I think I got too much sandpaper. There we go. Did I turn that on? Doesn't really hold it. Kinda. If it would spin, that would be good. I don't know how else you'd do the inside of the thing other than wrapping that. Maybe if I wrap it tighter. Or wait. Would direction matter? Yes. Yes, it would. I'm figuring this out on the fly here, so I'm talking to myself a lot. All right, let's see.
You got it. Looks like a dog toy.
It does look like a...
It looks like a bone.
Nope, that didn't work either. Well, a little bit.
Oh, seems like it works better that direction.
I just want to get those little bits of wood off the inside. Okay. Yeah, this would actually be like a much better coffee scoop, I think. All right, let's hit this a little bit. So we'll do a cool finish on here and see if we can make it look cool. Now, here's the cool part. Actually, I'm going to sand this first, then we'll do the cool part. Because we can take away the tailstock and turn the end and not have a big hole in the end. Looks pretty good, I guess. Nothing wants to run up the hill.
Question.
Yes, question.
Fun, your first captive ring?
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. It's always fun to try something new. And, I mean, obviously, since I watched the demo on Saturday, I was like, oh, I want to try that. I didn't think I would try it this soon, but that's okay. And it'll make a good display thing for the store. And then I'm sure we'll do some more. My mom, speaking of my mom again, is she on here, Anita? Have you seen her on there? My mom said, hey, somebody should do a captive ring on Christmas ornaments, like from the ornament contest, because she's always thinking about the ornament contest. And I said, what if you did a tree shape where like the taper of the triangle of the tree shape was different size captive rings all stacked on each other so they all moved when you shook the, do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
So you'd have a top,
you'd have to have a top that.
well, you'd have a top, that little triangle, and then the next ring would be just smaller than, just inside that, and then the next one would be held on by the ring above it, all the way to the bottom, and then the bottom ring, obviously there'd have to be a base of wood, so you could have multiple stacked rings. So if anyone wants that idea, feel free to take it, because I probably won't do it. That's a,
We had some really cool tiny finial captive ring ones this year
okay.
that I was like in love with.
Amy said there were some captive rings on finials this year that she really liked. I remember seeing a couple of them.
We have ideas in the chat too.
What do you got in the chat?
You had the sandpaper on it, you were trying to stand the
Yeah.
inside of the ring. They were saying maybe use tape
Yeah, tape would probably help.
or sticky back sandpaper.
Doesn't that thing go?
Oh, this is interesting. Ralph says if the lathe spun in reverse, would the ring move to the other side?
Let's find out. So it keeps climbing up. So let's stop it and flip it in reverse. Nope, still went up the hill. Reverse or forward, it still went up the hill. And I don't know, maybe it's just a thing like climbing the little slope.
What size was the spindle gouge you used to rough it?
The roughing gouge
Yeah.
or the small spindle gouge? The roughing gouge was the 1-inch record power.
Gouge. Sorry.
The little spindle gouge I was using, this one was a 3/8. The roughing gouge was 1-inch, although there is bigger. There's 1 1/4, 1 1/2. And then this was like a little 3/8 fingernail grind. And it's nice. It's kind of fun, like rounding stuff, which I don't do a lot, so it's a little more fun than just using a bowl gouge for everything.
People want to see that tree on this.
No, one of you make the tree, not me. That was just an idea I was sharing. I think it's a cool idea, but I don't know if it's for me. Let's do real quick. This is 240 because we're going to use sanding sealer in Yorkshire on here. Yorkshire. I think this will look really good. Whew. It's weird having something just flopping around on there. Okay. But what I was saying is it's cool because I can move my tailstock off and I can still turn. Now obviously I've got a thinner, much thinner piece of wood here, and so it's going to, well, it doesn't move a lot. But you want to, don't go crazy with your pressure on it. A lot of times when I'm turning off like this, I'll push towards the spindle instead of across the spindle. So it just depends on what you're going to use. I think I'm going to keep this like round and shapely by cutting a little cove in the back here, if this works. So all my pressure is going towards the headstock. And I think that'll look cool versus having like a hole from a live center, for sure. But you can see how sturdy this is. Like even with it spinning, if I push on it, it doesn't flex. Now that could be the wood is nice and sturdy. But it's pretty nice to have that. And it's because you've got that brass insert, I'm not relying on threads in the wood, which I think makes a huge difference. And I'm back. So let's put a finish on this. I bet this will look pretty clean and shiny. Now I sanded up to 240, which is pretty low. Just getting any dust off here if I can. Now one thing I don't like, let's see if we can figure this out. What? I have a line down the center of the ring. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but I think I bumped it with the captive ring tool when I was going back and forth. Let's see if I can wedge this enough to sand it.
Kim says you could put an eye screw in the end so that it could be hung up.
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be cool. Yeah, it's so cool because there's like options for everything, and you can turn, you know, your live center point into a feature, as we say. Let's see if that'll hold enough to sand. So I just wedged some not TP, some paper towel in there. It looks like TP, just to sand it a little bit. Oh, I hit the paper. Stuff it back on here. Problem is it's sticking way up. This is where you probably want to make sure it's good before you separate it. I think it'll be fine. We'll call it good. Anyone complain? Cool. Okay. Otherwise, it's pretty smooth for 240. What we'll do is put some sanding sealer on it. I dropped my brush in the dust the other day, so I need to get a new brush. But I will just apply it with a paper towel, which is fine. And this stuff, it's not the finish. This is just so the finish will look smoother and shinier. So I'm just going to dip a little bit onto here. And this will really bring out the shine when we go to do the Yorkshire and the friction polish.
David from Mississippi said, good to see you working live.
Thanks, David. Every Wednesday, not every Wednesday, most Wednesdays, we do try to do a live stream. Working live is good because sometimes you got to figure stuff out, and you know, some people might have done some of this or want to know, you know, options, so we can kind of work it out here while we all talk. I don't know, this ring is the best thing to seal, but now keep in mind, I didn't really sand the inside of this ring. I might have wanted to.
Is it kind of dark on the side just because of burning?
Yeah, it looks like there is a little burning on this side. When I first went in to cut that ring, before I sharpened it the second time, it burned pretty quick. The other side didn't burn at all. It kind of just cut little ribbons, which was nice. Like most of this stuff, well, maybe that was from the gouge, I don't know. It cut little ribbons at least. All right, so we're going to let that spin and dry. Now, depending on where you are, this stuff can take longer to dry in certain places. Down here in the summer, it's like 10 seconds and it's dry. Right now, it might take 30 seconds because it's winter and it's 70 degrees. Is it cold where everyone is? What's your high temp today? It was 80 yesterday here in Arizona, which is kind of crazy to say in January. Amy and I love cold weather, so 80 is not cold. But what is it where you are? It's 76 today is the high here. Okay, I'm going to use Yorkshire grit. I'm going to turn the lathe down. Now, for the past little while here, this is the same Yorkshire I've been using for a little over a year now. And I'd say I'm about halfway done with it, maybe a third, because I don't use a lot. But I've been using the same Scotch-Brite pad to apply. Now, I know this isn't Yorkshire or Easy Wood's recommended thing, but I got this from Bob over at Unique Wood. He makes some killer tables and stuff. And he uses these like zero scratch Scotch-Brite pads. And I started using them on some other stuff, and they work so well. And this one I can just keep in my Yorkshire. Let's go overhead. And it really works well because it's not abrasive, but it holds the material, the grit really well. And then I just freshen it up each time I use it. Put a little more on. And the stuff is killer. Now I still have to wipe it off with a paper towel because you got to get it all off. So what I'm going to do is do one pass at this speed, and then I'm going to speed it up. I don't know how I'm going to get this ring. I don't think I can. I'm going to forget that. So I'm going to speed it up a little bit.
We got a lot of temps in the 30s and 40s.
Ooh, 30s and 40s.
And then a 70 in Florida.
Yeah, Florida, that makes sense, but I don't. Even here, we're not normally this warm.
And 70 in Vegas as well.
Oh wait, I'm putting pressure on it, getting it to spin. Okay. Yeah, I bet Vegas is similar to us. So I just keep that little pad in there. Now it does make a mess, like my fingers are covered in goo. But then I'll just take a paper towel and make sure it's all cleaned off. And you can see the brown on the towel. That's what you want to get off, because you don't want any of that on for your finish, no matter what finish you're going to use. And remember, Yorkshire grit is not finish. Think of it like it's sandpaper. Now, probably the one mistake I just made is I kept pushing the ring on the front, so I put some little grooves there. But I'm not too worried about it. Try to, if I got any grit on the inside of the ring.
We get a 9 Celsius.
9 Celsius, what's that?
That's like 48, 49 degrees, I think, right now.
Oh, wow. It's been a weird year for weather, that's for sure. Okay. So, I think we're pretty good here. Sounds cool. All right. Let's do, there, so you can see it. We did save some of that pink, so that's kind of cool. A little bit. All right, now I'm going to use Mylan's friction finish. I use Mylan's a lot for pens and other things. I think it'll work well on this. This isn't intended for children or anything, because I don't know any. So,
We know.
so I'm going to start. I'm going to shake this up really well. It does kind of settle. And I'm just going to put a couple drops. With pens, I only use 1 drop at a time. This I'm going to put like 3. And I'm just going to go on the end here. Let me go overhead. And you can kind of see where I push on it. It's starting to shine. And if you just follow my finger, that's where I'm putting pressure. I mean, look at the end of that thing shining. So with this, you can see like it's pretty much dry. And the pressure sets the finish. So if you look here, it's not dull, it's just not shiny. But if you look at the end, it's like shiny. I don't know if that is picking it up, you can tell me. So now I'm going to do this section here, and then I'll move that over. But I'm going to just put another little couple drops, and I'll go from the end here. And you can... Oh my gosh.
I heard that they were just getting dumped on up there.
Yeah, Anchorage, I like Anchorage, but I don't know about right now because snow and cold is relentless, it seems like. I was in Anchorage in August and it was hot. It was hot. I was wearing shorts and a t-shirt the whole time. All right. We'll do the upper section here. And I don't know how well the camera picks up the shine, but it's cool as you move this, you want to just keep the pressure, and you can kind of see the whole thing start to really start to shine. Now, I don't know if the ring's messing it up. It could be, because the finish obviously isn't dry. So maybe that's where the suggestion to tape it in place would have been smart. I'm just going to rub it on the friction finish, so at least it has some on it. But you have to tell me if you can see that in any of the cameras. But I mean, it's shiny and that's dry, so that's pretty good shine. I do see some scars where the ring is nicking the finish. It like has etched the finish a couple times. That's probably because I got a weird trim on the inside of that. Okay, let's do this. So we can try, let's see here, yeah. I wouldn't normally want to take it off right away, but y'all are waiting. I like to let the finish sit. And with what we just did, if you do that twice, like if you do that again tomorrow, you want to wait a day in between, you'll get a really good shine. Let's see. Oh, let's see if this looks weird. It's like a baby toy with a bottle opener. I mean, it would work. It's still big enough. Or you think it's better as a coffee?
Try it with the scoop.
With a coffee scoop? I happen to have one right here. Well, see, I didn't turn it to the bushing of a coffee scoop, so it'll look very robust at the end here. I mean, I don't think that's a big deal, but I kind of like the bottle opener better. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I like the bottle opener better.
Just because this is very big for that, it kind of looks like I didn't use the right bushing because I didn't. Hey. Even with these, bushings are helpful. So that universal mandrel system is really cool for this, for getting everything lined up, because you can see the rest of these look pretty good. And you saw how safe it is. That's the best thing, is you can take away your tailstock and it's still secure. And I don't think I made a bottle stopper for like the first 10 years I was making pens, because I didn't like just putting threads into wood. It always came loose or broke. I tend to turn really fast, so it just would come apart. So this is much nicer. What else have we got, Amy? I think that looks okay, even though I don't know what the point of the ring is, other than just to do it.
I kind of like it.
Everybody, all right, let's do a challenge. Everybody make something with a ring on it. You can't have already made it, so make something with a ring on it and post it on... What's the new page?
It's called
On Facebook.
Turner's Warehouse Turning Team.
There's a page called Turner's Warehouse Turning Team. It's a page where you can post projects and stuff you're working on. It was kind of a funny, happy accident page, but it's pretty cool. And I've even been posting on there, but everybody's posting. Post one of these, not a bottle opener, but something with a captive ring by next Wednesday, and we'll give away a gift card to everyone who posts a picture. We'll draw one name, not everyone. We'll draw one name from everyone who posts and give away like a $50 gift card. What do you think of that? So if no one does it and only one does it, they get it.
For the people who are waiting on captive ring tools.
Well, here's the thing. I just did this for the first time, and I actually think you could do pretty much the same thing with a diamond tool. Carbide, because really you just have to be able to get around it. And I'm actually kind of already wanting to make my own little captive ring tool, because I swear this is a skew that they put a curve in and rounded the tip. That's it. I mean, it's exactly a skew. So I kind of want to make my own little captive ring tool that's just like a little flat hook rounded hook that goes in. But we'll do a gift card if anyone wants to participate. We'll see what happens. But post it on the Turner's Warehouse turning team. And actually, if you want to post anything cool on there, that's kind of fun.
And if you can't find it, it's a private group because we just didn't want it to fill with a bunch of spammers. So if you're having a hard time finding it, just shoot me an email or shoot me a message on Facebook and I'll add you to the group.
So Amy said it is a private group because she doesn't want it filled with spammers and like people selling stuff not relevant to anything. So if you see it and you're not in there, shoot Amy a message and she can add you to it. But we'll do some stuff like that from time to time. So if you want to join it for that reason alone, it might be worth it. But yeah, that was pretty fun. I'll definitely do more of these. I was actually thinking of this when I was watching the demo the other day. What do you think about turning a bowl, like a big bowl, right? Now this is a rough bowl, it's not done. But what if you turn this big bowl and then had a captive ring on the outside, like at the top? Like just have a little bit of a stop on each side and a giant captive ring. How cool would that be on a bowl? No? Too much? Amy's head is smoking. She's trying to picture that. Imagine a bowl with a ring around the top. I mean, obviously you'd have a little bead at the top and bottom to hold it in place, but it would just like be there. I don't know.
Jim says the thing you made is a baby rattle for adults.
It is like an adult baby rattle.
It's a bottle rattle.
Yeah. It's a Sunday football rattle. Because somebody would probably like play with it the whole time, like watching a game or something. It's like a noisemaker.
I do like to fidget with them.
Yeah, it's kind of like a fidget toy. I mean, I've been fidgeting with it this whole time. And I am surprised, and the ones I've played with otherwise are the same. I am surprised how robust the ring feels. I thought it would be really break off real easy, and I'm sure if you had a lighter wood it could, but I mean, it feels really tough. But this wood came out pretty cool. Can you see the pink on the camera, or is it too faded? Yeah. All right, well, anybody got any other comments, questions, words of wisdom?
Soon, hopefully, we're going to have a record power.
Oh yeah, so
We don't have an exact date yet, but
that's a good point, thank you. Amy just mentioned we are setting up to do a cool thing with the guys in the UK with Record Power. They're gonna do like a product thing for us where they'll tell us about the lathes and then we can ask questions, and it's super informative. Those guys are pretty good with their machines, so I know what I know from using them, but they know the details of how they're made and designed and what they're capable of, and that kind of stuff. So if you ever had any questions on lathes in general, it could be Record Power, but they're going to talk about Record Power, but it'll really be helpful for anyone who uses any lathe. So you'd want to watch that. Okay, thanks for watching. We will get back to some kitless custom stuff real soon. We'll see if I can pull it off next week. I just got to prep for it, so that's the hard part. But anyway, thanks for watching. If you have any comments or questions, let us know. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, please. And if you would, share it. Like, it helps us to, when they get shared, it helps us to like reach more people that are into this kind of stuff. And probably people too, just like we do. Anything else?
nope.
All right. Thanks, everybody. If you're in the area and you want to come see this masterpiece, I'll put it in the store. This #1 captive ring.
Was it fun?
Numero uno. It is cool. I mean, I could see a lot of making yourself challenge, or challenging yourself a lot with this, of doing multiples or doing, like I was saying, the bowl. I don't think I've ever seen one. That would be kind of cool. I might try a small one first. The ornament idea that my mom had is really cool for the tree, because I think stacked rings of different sizes sounds challenging. I think on a pen would be really cool. If somebody could do a little tiny ring on a pen would be neat. So if you've done captive ring stuff like that, let us know. I'd love to see it. or fidget toys, because that's what this is. All right, everybody, thanks.
All right.
See you next Wednesday. Fade to black.